I've had a little bit of time in the evening to start messing with 3D printing again. Y'all are gonna have to excuse the mess, but you know, there's my Ordbot, there's my Pegasus, there's my Airwolf. Behind me over here, I have two Move 3D printers. So I've been playing with my Ordbot a lot. I put a Bulldog extruder on this thing a while back. I did a video on it. Really hadn't got to play with it much since I did it. So basically this is a totally different printer from when I got it. I mean, when they first started doing these, I helped the guy with the cooling for the boards, and helped him with the firmware updates for his model. So that has a Build-Tok plate on it, and I put a little bit of Elmer's glue on it to help, you know, anything stick. I had another video where I use mesh tape, which helps also. I did convert this to a Bowden instead of a direct drive system. I just got done printing a satellite holder. I'm setting up some software to see what it would do, and that looks pretty good for the speed I printed it at, and I printed it at a low resolution as well, so it's not too shabby. A lot of people get into 3D printing, they have tons of issues, and that's what this is about. My Airwolf, which I gave such high remarks to, still love this printer. It's still a workhorse. I have done some mods to it. That is their newer head that they sent me. I did the videos on this where I made that mount and put that up there. That's the 3DP dual extruder setup. Of course, that's the Bowden feed system. I made that mount with a fan holder to cool it. It's on Thingiverse if you want to download it. I just updated it with some cooling channels to go around the necks of the motors here to help cool it a little better. On this, of course, I got the Bulldog right here. That is the Bulldog XL. I do recommend that or that for any printer. I mean, the geared, it does help. You tighten it up, it pushes through just about anything. An all metal hot end, those are E3D hot end on there. I have another one over here in the bag ready to go. E3D makes some nice stuff. Now, where you get into with you people that are having issues and don't understand, there are several things that take play in this. One is that filament right there. If you read, it says that if you leave this out, it will soak up moisture in the air. Now you're thinking this is ridiculous, blah, 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 whatever. It does. As you can tell, this is an old farmhouse with a very old basement. Need to paint the walls. You can see all the concrete patchwork on the walls, but hey. Moisture does get to your filament. It doesn't happen overnight. You can go, depending on your situation, the area you live in the world, everything, you could go a couple of days or a week. Eventually moisture's on getting that filament. You'll start noticing it. You'll hear a little bit of popping every now and then as it's extruding. It'll quit sticking as well, things like that. It's not ruined. If that happens, you can dry it out, okay? I mean, I leave filament out all the time, see, but I can tell you now, like the filament that's been on that printer right there has been on that printer for 6 months. Yeah, I have a ton of trouble printing with it unless I dry it out. Now, I use space bags. For instance, go over here. When you're done printing, put your filament in a space bag, or this is a knockoff of a space bag. Suck the air out of it. Maybe put your Decadence bag in there, or take you a bag that will hold rice even. Put it in there, a cloth bag with rice in it. Suck the air out. Every time you take it out, it'll be ready to print. If you leave it out, and you leave it out like I do, because I'll leave things printing overnight, and then the next day work keeps me tied up, and it's 2 or 3 days before I come back. Well, at that point, you can put it in a toaster oven on about 150, 160 and leave it for about 3 or 4 hours. Or I have made a video, when several people have. It's on YouTube. There's a food dehydrator. I went to Walmart, bought it in the hunting section, and then I went over to the where they keep the plastic bowls and covers and stuff. Spent $5 on a cake holder, and the top fit right on top of it perfectly. If you watch the video, it'll show it to you. And I just basically, I can put 2 spools in it at a time, stack them one on top of each other, and put it on 150, 160, and walk away. Come back 3 or 4 hours later, throw it in a space bag, it's good again. That's a simple way to fix that, and you might want to keep that in mind. Secondly, like I said, your extruders and your hot ends are the heart of your machine, okay? If you do not have a decent extruder and a decent hot end, you're going to have issues. Changing over to a all metal hot end on that Ordbot there made a big difference for me. Going Bowden helped a whole lot. It got that weight off of there when it's moving, so it can print a little faster and still be accurate. When I finally put that Bulldog extruder on there and quit playing around with these extruders I was printing, I mean, day and night difference, okay? I had to do a firmware modification because the gear is, of course, the steps are different. You can do it through a G-code command that you add in to the software. So on the startup, it sends the command to change the step. You don't have to reflash the controller board if you don't know how. The same way with the 3DP, I had to change the setting for it also. And on their website, they actually posted up the G-codes that I found worked for my Airwolf. So both of them are great. Both of them work good. Now you got software. Lots of software out there. Everybody has their own picks. Simplify 3D, 150 bucks. That's it right there. I've had it for well over a year. Yes, it does work great. It's got a lot of customizable features in it. I mean, you can customize it down to what you're doing on every layer almost if you really want it to. Now, with that said, the average person starting out probably doesn't want to spend this money right here. That's a lot of money out front. Matter control, it's free. It has a ton of customizing settings in it. You can start off with the defaults, and as you get a little more into it, start using the settings, and you'll find you can do pretty much anything you can with Simplify 3D with Matter Control. I use them both. If I'm in a big hurry, I just drop Matter Control in, click, click, I'm done. If it's something that I really want to tweak out, I use this. Now, if you ever get to where you've learned Matter Control 150%, I mean, it'll pretty much be equivalent, close to this, and a little bit easier to use once you get past all the little settings you have to flip back and forth to. By that, I mean, let me load it up for you here real quick. Here it is right here. Okay, you're gonna go into the settings and the setup, and you can see there's the G-code command for the Bulldog. See, I had to do the M92. The E489 is the setting for the XL Bulldog, the geared one that works on the Ordbot. That should work for any printer using base firmware. Okay. I can change it to the Airwolf real quick, and you'll see the same. It didn't import it. I'll have to import it. I just installed this version, so I'll import the settings. It's no big deal. But then you have to go to, you got filament, you got all these different little tabs here. Once you learn what they all are, it's the same way with Matter, or with the Simplify 3D. There's a ton of settings. You just gotta go into it slowly. If you hold your thing over them for a little while, it tells you what each one is. You gotta read. You gotta pay attention. Okay. So, extruders, hot ends. Don't get them mixed up. The hot end is the actual head where the filament goes in and melts. The extruder is the part that pushes the filament. Okay, it can be an all-in-one setup, a direct drive, but it's always the extruder pushes the filament. The hot end is the part that melts it. Your software is your other one. Now, when you first get into printing, you're going to start printing and think, man, I want this to get done. Speed is not your friend when it comes to 3D printing. There is an optimum speed you can do and still keep a decent print. Okay, when you first start out, you're going to want to print fast for everything. It's going to cause you some problems and fails, okay? It's better to print a little slower, take a little extra time, and get a good print than it is to rush through it, have it fail, have to do it over 2 or 3 times until it just works. Slow down a little bit, don't get in a hurry, let it happen. As you learn to use things, you can tweak it and make it a little quicker. So that's just some stuff I wanted to share with you today. I try to give a little helpful video whenever I can. There's my video using the mesh tape to help stick things. I saw that from somebody else. It does help. It helps a lot more on a non-heated or very low heated bed, because this has adhesive on the back of it. If you heat it up too much, the tape will want to come loose. Just remember that, okay? There's my video on the dehydrator, and there's my video on the Micron 3DP extruder on the Airwolf. So I've got several videos on here. You can look them up if you want to. I really don't care. I'm not one of them people that get paid for you all watching my videos, okay? I just do this to help people. So I hope y'all find this useful. Have a good evening.